I'm going to talk more about caregiver trauma because, one of the big things about being a caregiver for someone who has been abusive to you, it doesn't matter what kind of abuse, in my case, it was emotional abuse, but it's the inescapability of it. Right now, this morning, my dad got sick. He's been throwing up and he's all wobbly. We can't get him from the bed to the commode. And I had to tell my mom that we're going to have to call an ambulance to get him to the hospital because if he starts having diarrhea, we can't get him out of bed and we can't change the bed with him in it. And he would be laying in his crap and his puke. And that's, as much as I kind of don't like my dad, no human being deserves to be stuck laying in their vomit and feces. I don't care how much I hate them. I'm not going to allow that kind of a situation. So he's in a hospital, and I don't care what happens to him beyond that because, he's being taken care of. So somebody else is, they're going to be dealing with the poop and the vomit and the cleanup and everything else. It's not my problem now. So I don't have to worry about that. Mom is going to be a basket case. She always gets that way. Um, but the trauma in my case with caregiving is that I have no way to leave or to escape from it. So when I have to witness these crises, I'm stuck in the middle of it. But this time was a little bit different because I basically charged forward with being proactive, and I basically told Mom, if you don't call an ambulance, I will. And I was going to take that choice out of her hands and make it myself. And then she would have to deal with the paramedics, and then she would have to go to the hospital anyway. But it was turning into that situation. I could see it, and I'm glad that I persisted because this would have gotten worse. I mean, he was still able to get up to get onto the commode, but barely. But when the paramedics were trying to get him up to transport him, with three grown men, he almost went down. Like his legs were just wobbling like a newborn horse that's trying to figure out how to walk. So, but anyway, this is what we're stuck in. But it's like I can't even have 3 full weeks to mourn my best friend Elizabeth because she died on March 14th. I made a video about that, my best friend of 35 years. And I'm doing a little bit better, but I'm still really emotional and volatile, and probably why I'm angrier than usual is because of grief. So I'm allowing myself the grace to say I'm dealing with bereavement. I'm a lot more emotionally punchy. I've also got some premenstrual garbage going on that makes me feel not so great too. And I'm just hoping that whatever dad has isn't something I've got. My stomach is a bit upset, and I'm not sure if I'm queasy because of the smells and sights that I had in the room from being stressed out, or if whatever he's got is something I've got, and maybe I just have it so mildly. But I don't know. I don't really have an appetite. I ate so that I could take my sertraline this morning, and I haven't been sick at all. No throwing up, no diarrhea, nothing. But with my dad, he was bringing up water. I gave him water to drink to hydrate him, and that came up. And that's when I was like, okay, that's it. Mom, we're call an ambulance. And she resisted me for quite a bit until he threw up and messed up the bed the second time. Because we only have like 2 sets of linens, and he just ruined them both. And it's not his fault. I mean, you can't help it if you're sick. But like, I think if he had thrown up that second time, she would have been really all, no, not wanting to do it, because it's a big disruption. I mean, it is. Whenever he has to go to the hospital, it's a huge disruption of our lives and our routines and everything else. And it's a hassle. And it's like last year he was in the hospital with a UTI. And I mean, he could have another one right now. I mean, I'm guessing either UTI or something, enterovirus or something. I mean, who knows? Maybe the hot dogs were starting to go off, and that could be why my stomach is upset. I don't know. And it could be it's just a little bleh for me, but it's a big deal for him because he ate more hot dog than I did. Like, I don't know, but I just think of the situation of Gene Hackman and his wife, and it goes to show how caregivers, they often die first because they can't take care of their own problems. His wife, I can't think of her name, I'm so sorry. I don't have the article in front of me, but she dropped dead of some kind of hantavirus respiratory complication, and then Gene Hackman had advanced Alzheimer's. He didn't even know he could call for help. He could probably look in the bathroom, see her dead, turn around, forget, and then, he couldn't feed himself. He couldn't take care of himself. And then finally his heart just quit and he dropped. And I guess there was evidence his pacemaker had tried to shock him back, but it didn't work. And he was just too far gone. And like, he died a really sad, lonely death, all alone and scared and not understanding what's happening. Where's the nice lady that's helping him? Like, and that could so easily be my mom and dad. And like, my sister Marcy, she's a teacher and she's on spring break right now, but she's in Vegas. She can't just get over here. She's 4 hours away. So, and she might have had a little couple drinks because she'll always get some cocktails in Vegas, not to the point of being like drunk off her butt, but enough that it wouldn't be good for her to drive. So, like, she's aware that she probably shouldn't drive. So, I don't know when she's gonna get in. I don't know when I'm gonna see mom, and mom didn't take her phone. So, because we got her a phone for situations like this, but she didn't frickin' take it. It's just bullshit going on, and I'm in the middle of it, just kind of watching it all go down, and I'm handling it better than I used to because this is just like, well, this is what it is. Like, if it was my mom, I'd be a lot more scared and upset because honestly, with my dad, it's just, God, it sounds so bad, but he really is kind of a burden on us. Him and his Parkinson's disease, and it's not his fault. But it's just when things go wrong with him, everything has to stop to deal with it. If something happens to me, the world can go on around in the house. So, if mom gets sick, but not so bad that she's in the hospital, the world can kind of go on as long as the caregiver shows up during the day. But when it's dad, everything and everybody has to stop and basically focus on him. And when he's in the hospital, then, it's all the random phone calls we have to deal with. And it's just, I'm tired of it. And I'm sure he is too. And it's not fair. I'm grateful that we have help now, but I think we suffered for 11, 12 years longer than we needed to. And I just want there to be an end to this. I wish it could be an end where nobody has to die. But that's what it's going to be, and I just don't want it to be my mom. But I feel like she's going to go first at the rate this is going. And it's just, I just feel trapped in this because I keep trying to ask my mom, please write down the phone numbers of who do I call if something happens to you. Because, like, I'm thinking of right now with Marcy in Las Vegas, she can't come here and make the phone calls and deal with all this. So I would have to, like, call, like, a funeral home to pick her up, and, like, insurance and all this stuff. I would have to do it. And I have no info in order to do it. And so, like, I'm sorry that I'm ranting. I'm just getting these thoughts out. But it's just, I think about that, and that's not overthinking. That's not my anxiety talking. It's me trying to be practical. And what makes the trauma for me is that I try to get this info, and I try to prepare, and the people that I need to help me prepare won't do a thing to help me fucking prepare. And so I'm stuck just in fear that something's going to happen, and I'm going to be totally helpless. That's the thing, is that something's going to happen and I'm going to be completely useless and helpless. And I don't want to be. But I have to get other people to help me, and I can't get them to help me do the thing. And my mom is the one with the answers, and she just won't do it. And I tell you what, so much of my anxiety would just go down if she would just answer these damn questions for me and write this info down. But I can't get her to. So I'm just, if I find her dead, I'm going to have to call 911 and let the police deal with it at this rate. But, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but you never know. But if something happens to Dad, there's going to be someone to help deal with that because Mom can handle that and I don't have to. But if it's Mom and Marcy's not around, it's going to be on me. And I'm not equipped. And I can't get a hold of the info to be equipped. Now, do you see where all this trauma comes from? Is me needing things and not getting them, and then being stuck when I am left with the mess because I couldn't get the info I needed. Can you see where the trauma comes from? Can you see? God. I'm tired. I'm tired of this. But I gotta keep on trucking. So do you. Let's keep going.